Well, Trump flip-flops again in that orange-colored cranium that he has, and he's put a 90-day pause on most of his so-called reciprocal tariffs, but will raise the levies on China to 125%. White House
and
officials
rising.
Oh man, it's literally. I think there's a ticker that just keeps going up at this point.
Yeah.
You know, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. So, a White House official said that the next 10% baseline tariff, for which Canada and Mexico were initially exempt, now applies to both countries as well. Earlier today, China struck back with an 84% tariff on U.S. goods that goes into effect today. Meanwhile, Canada hit the U.S. with a 25% tariff on non-CUMSA compliant vehicle imports. EU countries have voted in favor of a proposal to hit the U.S. with a retaliatory measure starting April 15th. Global stock markets were up after the very volatile trading we've had over the last few days, right? So then the White House stepped up and said, okay, yep, Canada and Mexico, you are getting that 10%. We weren't. Now we are, then we weren't, now we are. And what's not clear to anybody here is what happens to the earlier tariffs on Canada, the so-called fentanyl tariff of 25%. Bullshit. Sorry. And similar tariffs on steel, aluminum, and some automotive trade as well. So the president's trade representative happened to be testifying on Capitol Hill when the news broke. Jamieson Greer had been testifying for hours defending Trump's trade policy, and then the news hit. So Democratic lawmaker Stephen Harsford stepped up and said, hey, did you even know this was happening? He says, what the fuck? Who's in charge? This is amateur hour, and it needs to stop. It looks like your boss just pulled the rug out from under you. There's no strategy here. You just found out 3 seconds ago, and I saw you. It's chaos.
It's on fire.
Yeah, exactly. But it's absolutely chaos. The guy's standing there defending the policies, and Trump rescinds them, and he's like, what?
I would imagine Trump was watching the show. He was watching it on TV. And he had like a big red button. He was just on the phone, right? And now,
yeah. Let me play out how this works, right? Elon calls up Trump and he goes, "Dude, I'm down like a whole whack now. So why don't you hit pause so the market can go back up? I can recoup some, and then you can screw with everybody in a little bit. Okay, done." That's how I read it.
I'm sure he doesn't actually care about Elon that much.
Oh, nobody cares about the super elite, the uber rich. He wants to be one of them. He wants to be dictator, leader, and the big rich man. And this stock market drop, and now it going back up when he pauses it, gives everybody a chance to buy in low and make some money. It does. Yeah. You know, there's also the story about a couple of people within the administration who, one of them, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she switched to treasury bonds right before the tariff announcements, and then she didn't lose as the market went down. So now if she switches from treasury notes back to the market to buy in and watch it go up, if that's not insider trading, she should be, boom. Come on.
Yeah, there's a lot of those words being bandied around at the minute.
It's unbelievable that this can even... You got to call a spade, a rotten egg, a rotten egg. I mean, it just is. If this plays out that way, it's got to be called out. It has to be. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah. But we haven't got all those like lawyers and judges like we used to have.
Yeah. Well, we need ones that actually practice the law, not Trump's law. So, yeah.
Yeah, all the ones he fired. They'll do it.
Yeah, you'll find all the real justices in the employment insurance line or whatever it's called, right? You know? So what do you got going on here? It looks like we're in similar territory.
Well, this is a nasty story of a 70-year-old Missouri woman is facing child abuse and endangerment charges amid a deeply disturbing investigation, one that includes allegations she may have traded an adopted teenage girl to someone in Texas in exchange for a monkey. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
The woman from a small town of Wingfield, about 45 miles northwest of St. Louis, not that you need to know, has been jailed on a 250,000 cash-only bond since her arrest over the weekend. Authorities say that she has fostered or adopted more than 100 children over the years, and prosecutors believe other children in her care may have suffered similar abuse. Yeah, the teen, she just sold them off. The teen at the center of the case claims she was physically abused, allegedly beaten with wooden trim, shoes, and a paddle, and says her prior attempts to report the abuse were ignored. The case surfaced in February when a school resource officer began investigating the girl's prolonged absence from classes. And that officer uncovered a troubling rumor that the girl had allegedly been traded for an exotic animal. Deputies contacted the authorities in Texas, where the teen was located, and later returned to Missouri. Hope not back to the woman.
Jeez.
And a tip months earlier had already flagged her for suspected abuse. Now, the Lincoln County Court county prosecutor says a witness described being asked to deliver the girl to Texas and return with a monkey in exchange. A claim that's still under investigation. Why didn't you ask the monkey? What was disturbing in the idea that was even a possibility that we could have a serious conversation that even something like this being considered or joked about is really kind of disheartening, said Lincoln County prosecutor Mike Wood. According to the teen, the woman she stayed with in Texas often left her alone for days to care for exotic animals. While no sexual abuse or forced labor was reported, her living conditions were described as by officials as unsanitary and unsafe. Well, she's probably in the cage where the monkey was in. The woman reportedly told detectives she was friends with the girl's adoptive mother and simply helping them to take a break from each other. Yeah. So authorities are now reviewing over the decades worth of allegations related to the woman's history as a foster parent. How can you do that? The prosecutor's office has already received numerous new tips and says more charges are expected. I mean, the kids that are under foster care, they're the most vulnerable, and they're the ones that need the most care and love and attention.
Do they not ever talk to these kids during this whole thing? What the hell is going on?
You'd think people would be checking up, wouldn't you?
Jeez, no doubt.
You put a kid in foster care, you have people. Well, I mean, obviously, there'd be no federal, agency to do that now because the Doge will have got rid of it. But
yeah.
But it should have been around at the time.
Unbelievable. And I'm sorry, but there's a little bit that goes to the words like the school and stuff, because there's got to have been some behavior signs that somebody went to. There's just got to be. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, she's not here. She hasn't been here for ages.
At least they figured that part of it out. But in the you know what I mean? Yeah. So this is likely to come up a lot more with all these Doge cuts. So let's hope for the best and probably get really bad stories out of it. That totally sucks, man.
We'll send the kids to El Salvador.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
How about that?
Send this broad to El Salvador. she can be the town pump. You know what I mean? Like, share, and subscribe on your way out. And thanks for joining us.
Yes, and leave a loving little comment in the comment section below.
Oh, nasty broad.
Stay silly.